welcome back. Have you ever thought if it is possible to stay in peace and rest, like no worries, no fears, no diseases, no illnesses, your business is going well, no area of your life you can see it's not working. Your finances are working, your children are doing well, you are doing well in your career, your family is well, nobody is sick. Do you think that is possible? Or do you think there must be always something that is not working? Because that is what most people usually think, that you can't have everything working in your life, but which is a lie. Things can be working because it's God who gives rest. It's God who makes things work, not you. And today, let's look at the word of God from the book of second or first Chronicles chapter 22, and I'll be reading from verse 9. This is the story of David. Before I read the story, I'll read about Solomon, but this is the story of David. Before then, David wanted to build temple for the Lord, but the Lord saying that David had shed too much blood. He had fought many wars, and he thought David was not fit to build the temple. And so God told David that he will not build the temple for him, but his son will build, was to build the temple for God. Because you have to know the life of David. David was fighting, like he was always fighting, up and down, fighting. And so when David decided to build a house for God, God is like, no, not you, David, not you. And this is what the Lord said in First Chronicles 22 and verse 9, and it says, "But you will have a son who will be a man of peace and rest." I've told you it's possible to have peace and rest. This is a promise of God. And God says that, "And I will give him rest from all his enemies on every side." Now this is God giving. Don't mistake. Don't think it's you looking for peace. No, this is God giving you peace. And that's why I'm saying it is very, very possible for you to have everything working in your life. Because it's God who does that. It's God who gives such season. It's not about you. It's not about you planning very well. It's not about you being hardworking in your business. It's not about you being a very good mother until you know how to give good counsel to your children. No, it's about God himself deciding this season, this year, next year, it will be a year of peace for you. And so the Lord says that, and now God tells him that his name will be Solomon, and I will grant Israel peace and quiet during his reign. Now all this time when Solomon will be on the throne, there will be no war. There will be quietness, because at this particular time, it is when now the temple of the Lord will be built. And that is how it is even in life. You find us, maybe your parents or your parents before you, they worked very hard. They fought. They had sleepless nights just to make a way for you. They did businesses. They went to places you cannot go. They endured bitterness. They endured pains you cannot, so that you can have peace. And we see all David. We see David from the time I think he became a king. He started fighting immediately. He fought until his last days. David is still fighting. And that is when now, at that particular time, that is when I think the idea of building the temple so they can bring the ark back, it's coming in his hand. And that is when God is telling him, no, David, you've done enough. Let me show you. And this, my temple, will be built in peace. And so God will establish peace. God will make shift from war and establish peace and rest in life because He wants to grow you. And so, what happens, or the important thing to know is that when God brings peace and rest in your life, there is a reason for it. Don't just waste it. Don't just start, excuse me, doing things randomly or just take it for granted. There must be a reason. Wherever you have such a time in your life, look around and even ask God, what am I supposed to be doing this season when there's so much peace in my life? What am I supposed to do in this season when I'm not struggling? Because let me tell you, what happens when God gives you peace in every area of your life, like the way He did, He told, look what He told this guy, so David, about his son Solomon. But you have a son who will be a man of peace and rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies on every side. What does that mean? So no struggles. No struggles. You're not struggling for anything. Your health, tick. Your finances, tick. Your children, like you just wake up and eat and come back to sleep. Business, whether you're automated or you have passive businesses, and everything is working until you're scared. And I'm like, oh God, everything is going so well. And you think that is the time to take a vacation. You go wherever you want. It's good to take a vacation, but in that peace, in that rest, ask God, what do you want me to do during this season when there's no fight? Because it doesn't mean that the people who are fighting had gone, the people who are fighting David, they are still there. But look what God have said. I will give him rest. I, the Lord, will give the rest. Not that the people who are fighting like in a Philistines and who have you, they are dead. No, they are there. But God had made it purposely so that King Solomon will be able to build the God's temple with no distractions, with no running. And also during this time, look what David told the people of now of Israel that time. He told them on verse 17, then David ordered all the leaders of Israel to help his son Solomon. He said to them, is not the Lord your God with you? And has he not granted you rest on every side? So nothing to worry about. Neither like you just sleep and sleep. Before, I don't think when David was having a good sleep, or he was always like on call. David here, David there, David they are coming, they have gone, they have done, they have taken the wives. And the life of David was, I don't know, David was always on the run. And now you have come after David. Now you are the one who don't know what it means to fight. All those, God has shut them up. God has held their minds, and they don't even fighting. They are also peaceful. They don't see anything, they don't want anything from Solomon. And you see, and that is when the time Solomon prospered, because God is with him. God is protecting him. God has given him rest. And the one says that, and David is asking them, and has he not granted you rest on every side? For he has given the inhabitants of the land into my hands. Whoever could have fought Solomon, God had already given them to David, and David has dealt with them. And the one says that, and the land is subject to the Lord and his people. And now this land, it's yours. Nobody's coming to fight you. All those who are fighting, those who are supposed to be here, have already He moved them, and now you are free. And now he told them, now devote your heart and soul to seek the Lord your God. Begin to build the sanctuary of the Lord. Devote your time. Now that you are at peace, that is not the time you think now it's time now to relax. You don't even pray. You don't even ask God for help. You don't ask God for guidance because you think you've made it. No. That time you are supposed to devote that time to God. You are supposed to pray. You are supposed to seek His guidance. You are supposed to seek Him and know if there is anything He didn't want you to do during that season, or there is something, or there's a lesson He wants you to run. Maybe He wants to run you. He is the master of peace. He is the peace Himself. Remember, all these things are happening. This peace will come. You know that you have no fight. It is a foreshadow. This is what was to happen after, when Jesus died. Died. Jesus died to give us rest, so that you can stop struggling from all this, so that you can be able to fight now from the victory that Jesus had given us. But was at this particular time, when God said, I will give you peace, that is what even will happen later. When Jesus dies, He will give you this peace for free, peace and rest, Come and rest. Come, all those who are heavy ridden and what, and get rest from Jesus. But at this particular time, when there is no peace, like in David's time, you cannot do anything. David could not afford to build a temple because he was always on the run. But God gave him a chance to prepare for it, but to not build it. And so when his son Solomon came, and was the one who was to build the temple, God made sure there was nothing. There were no struggles. He made sure King Solomon will remain in his country because he doesn't have to go to fight anyone. He doesn't go to fight anything. And that is why you find even building the temple, it was so easy because God has given him peace from all the area. So everything that he needed was available because God was in control. God is the one who was now working ahead of Solomon. Everything that he need is there. Everyone that he need is there. And so you find that peace is God given. Peace is not a gift from man. You cannot get your own peace. It's only God who can give you peace. And when God gives you that peace, it's good not to take it for granted. At that time, Solomon did good. He took the advantage of the peace and built the house of the Lord as he was instructed. But the main reason why God did that is that maybe so that Solomon will not have excuses. Because now this is the very end now, so at the very end, and David wanted to make sure that the church was built. And maybe the only way, maybe the Lord would help David is to give peace to his son Solomon, so that Solomon can be able to accomplish what his father David had started, and that is the building. Although he never put it here and gathered the things that were needed, and he even honored the people from Israel to help David, to help, Solomon build the temple. And so when God gives you peace, and He will, it doesn't have to be struggles, because people are used to struggles. People are used to pains. People are used to run. And so it is very hard when you tell somebody it is possible to have peace. God can give you peace. God can take all the pains from you. People will still, they will listen, but in doubt. And they're like, that is not normal. You always have some, but now you have hand for yourself. It is possible for God to give you peace from everything that is hurting you, even from your inner environment. God will give you peace from the bitterness you carry, from the anger you carry, from the self-pity you carry, from the low self-esteem that you carry, from playing victims and thinking that you cannot do it. God will give you peace from all those and make you live in abundance. God will make you live in overflow and know that where you lack nothing, where you feel everything that you need is within your touch. That is not your doings, that is the doings of God. Where you feel that whatever is that I need to do, I can be able to achieve it. Nothing is stopping me. And that is the Solomon, nothing can stop me. Whatever is that I need, whatever is, when it's for my children, whether it's for my career, whether it's for my business, whatever that I need to do, I can do it without hesitation. I can do it without fear. I can do it without fear of maybe something bad will come, because this peace and rest, it means it's absence of, there's nothing that can attack you. There's nothing can invent, even in your own mind, because God has given you peace. And when that peace comes, it's always good even to remember maybe the other people who are going through the chaos of life. And also tell them it's possible. God can give you peace, and it's good to ask God even to give us that peace if you are going through chaos. And maybe you've never thought it is possible for you to have peace in all areas of your lives. It's good to trust that God is able to give you that peace from all your enemies, from all your toils, from all your cares, from all your pains, from all your fears, from all the uncertainties in life. God is able to give you that peace, but you have to trust that He is able to do it. We've seen, and this is total evidence. It's not even, we are not trying to look for it. It is real and it is there. The word says that His name, and it says that, and I will give him rest from all his enemies on every side. Every side. Name it. East, west, north, south, up, down, wherever. God will protect you. And that it means to have God protection. When God protects you, He protects you from anything, from everything. And so when you are in that protection, it means you are safe. It means there's peace. It means there's rest. It means you can do anything that you ever wished to do because you are God's protection. And when Jesus died and rose again, that is all what He gave us. That peace, that passes human understanding. That when you believe He is able, when you believe in Him, you are able to enter into this rest. You are able to enter into this salvation. You are able to enter into this protection where nobody, where nothing, where no one can hurt you. But you have to trust that He is able to do so. David knew God. David had a relationship with God. And I think it was David's prayer that his son Solomon may be able to know God for himself. That's the way David knew, because David knew God as God of his father David. And I think what maybe David would have liked is Solomon to know God for himself, so that maybe he can be able to experience Him in a greater way. Like now he's experiencing His peace. He has given him peace. He has given me this ability to rule His people. He will give him this wisdom. Now you see, when there is peace, so many things will happen for Solomon. He will become the wisest man. He will be able to write all these proverbs, because there's nothing that is disturbing him. There's nothing that is disturbing his peace, because God has chosen that season of Solomon, the season of peace. And today I want to tell you, as it was back then, even today, God is in the business of bringing peace in our lives, peace and rest, and protecting us from our enemies in all signs. He did it back then and is doing it today. So I want to ask you today to look around in your life, and if you are learning, you are on the line like David, tell God, cry to Him, and tell Him you want peace. Just the peace, the way He accorded Solomon, the peace He gives Solomon from all, he's setting free from all enemies and from everything that could hurt him. Tell Him you want that kind of peace. You want to experience that rest. You want to experience that protection. And I can tell you for real, He'll do it for you, because God is our Father, a loving Father, and His business is protect us and to save us from all the calamities. And so if you are going through hardships, through brokenness, there's a God, there's a season that is called a season of peace and rest. And that season, you cannot earn it yourself. You can do nothing to have it. It's only God who can give you. So cry to God today and tell him, God, I want peace. I want rest in my life. I want you to protect me from all my enemies who could be trying to harm me, who are harming me, who are planning to harm me. And when you do that, God will grant you that prayer. God will answer that prayer because it's a good prayer, and God is in the business of giving us peace and allowing us to grow. When you are given that peace, grow, work on yourself, work on your on the mission that God has given you. Take opportunity, take chance of that, because peace is a place of growth. Peace is a place of advance, because during that time when there was that peace, that is when the temple was built. So when God gives you peace in your life, apart from even asking him what he wants you to do with that peace, take advantage of that opportunity. Maybe it's an environment that you've been given, you've been sick, God has granted you peace in that area. Or there are things you wanted to do or you could not do when you were sick, do them. Maybe it's finances. You had no finances, and now God has given you peace in your financial area. Do the things you wanted to do when you had finances. Do take advantage of that peace and do whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe something where you need to grow. Maybe it's a certain area. Maybe it's your children, you want to take them to a good school, you didn't have money. Now that God has given you advance, do that, whatever you wanted to do during that time that you could not do because there was war. David could not build the temple because he's always learning, and there's too much brand in his hands. But his son Solomon, it's clean, peace, and so he will build the house, he will build the temple of the Lord, and he will bring the ark back. So today, go in your life, look, this has not been working. There's peace here. Do whatever you need to do, and above all, God is able. Yes, it is possible to have peace from all things, not one at a time. I mean everything. Yes. And I would like you to commit that prayer to God today. Ask Him with a sincere heart. Seek Him. Tell Him, Lord, I want to experience this peace, like the peace you granted Solomon. I want to have that peace in my life, in my house, in my children's life, in my career, in my every area of my life, for it to be. And if you look back and you say, wow, thank you, Lord, for granting me this peace. So, thanks so much for watching. And remember to subscribe. And remember, it is possible to have peace, a season of peace in all areas of your life. And God is able to protect you from all the enemies. Thank you.